Hey everyone, welcome again to Whistler Olympic Park for the 2023 FIS Nordic Junior and U23 World Ski Championships. Hey everyone, I'm Steve Scholes. I've got Tim Wintonu in the house with me. Tim, today is the interval start race for the junior men and junior women. What can we expect?
Well, Steve, it is the individual start. We're going to see different tactics today than we saw in the mass start. There's not going to be a lot of free rides out there on the course. It's every athlete racing against the clock.
Now, what's something important tactically for these skiers to consider on a course in a race like this?
Well, in an individual start, I like to think you got to start fast, take the middle faster, and finish your fastest.
Yeah, so we're going to see that a little bit later with the junior men and junior women, but yesterday we had the Nordic Combined team event for the junior men, and we're going to take a look at the highlights. Okay, so here are the highlights from the junior men's team competition in Nordic Combined. This looks like one of the German skiers just coming down. That was the German team, 97.5 meters, that jump. And here, this is the Austrian team, 102 meters for Volscher. That put the Germans and Austrians tied 16 seconds behind the Norwegians. And here are the Norwegians. This was Strom, 102 meters. Finish off the jumping part of that competition. Norway getting a 16-second head start on Germany and Austria. And the Americans were about a minute, there's the Americans, about a minute behind. But the three teams, Germany, Austria, and Norway, came together. A few attacks out there, the German team making some attacks, but coming back together. Austria leading. And this is the handoff here. Again, this is a relay 4x5 kilometers. Norway getting a little bit of a lead going into the final leg, but it all coming back together again. And then getting close to the final time of the climb before the stadium, an attack by Tristan Sommerfeld. Big attack, and Tristan Sommerfeld pulls away and takes the gold for Germany. Norway second, Austria third. There is the German team. Tristan Sommerfeld anchoring the cross-country ski portion. You may remember his dad, Rennie Sommerfeld, longtime top distance cross-country skier on the World Cup. And now, today, the junior men and junior women in cross-country ski competition, the individual start, free technique, 10K, the junior women kicking things off. And of course, part of this is the overall standings for the Junior World Championships,
that's
combining
right,
the different
it's
events.
not just the individual results we're looking for. We're looking for, team, country results, all leading up to winning that trophy. Yeah, the Mark Hodler Trophy. Mark Hodler, of course, the longtime FIS president. This is awarded to the top junior team across all the disciplines, across all the countries. And currently, Norway leading that overall with 19 points, but Germany with a big performance yesterday, sitting in second, and the USA in third in those overall standings across all the disciplines here at the Junior World Ski Championships for the Mark Hodler Trophy. And now, Tim, let's take us through the course, the blue course here for the individual start. Yeah, so we see a couple changes on this skate freestyle course compared to what we saw in the Classic. That first climb we saw in the Classic, they've extended it. It's a little longer now, so there's a little more climbing earlier on. They get to the high point of the course, again, at that about 1,200 meters into the race, and then they have that long descent as well, and then another final climb which takes them about to 3 kilometers through, and then it's a little easier downhill coming back in to the start finish area to have that one last climb up into the finish. And they're doing 2 laps of this blue 5K.
Yeah, so 2 big climbs each time, but as Tim was noting, that about the 3 kilometer point where you hit the high point and then lots of descent after that. And again, 2 laps of the 5K course here at Whistler Olympic Park. So we're going to go down to Tom Stephen just to get some comments from one of the Team Canada Wax Techs.
I'm here with Joel Jakes. Joel's wax tech for the Canadian team, and he has been for a long time. Joel actually waxed here in 2010. Joel, how was it waxing in 2010 and being back here today?
It was good. In 2010, it was similar. I think we only had one day where it was typical Whistler, snowy around zero weather, so it's pretty stable, kind of like it has been here for the last 4 or 5 days.
And I know you can't give away any of your secrets for the waxing today, but what are some things you're testing today?
First, we start in the morning testing skis, narrowing down ski selection. That's the most important. And then we have the glide team out trying a bunch of different waxes for the day.
And with the conditions today, do you think the conditions or the skis are going to play a big factor in who's going to win the race?
Yeah, the skis always play a factor. I think with the stable condition, it won't be as big as it could be if it was a bit more unstable.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Joel.
Okay, thanks, Tom, for that update from the Team Canada head wax tech, Joel Jakes. And Tim, just thinking about the waxing for today and how it's different from the classic competitions, and a few more thoughts on top of what Joel had to say.
Yeah, so we heard Joel say, you know, they're out testing skis first. So I think it's always the athlete on the ski, then it's the skis themselves. And so you want to make sure you put enough time in testing and getting the best ski for that athlete. And then today they're just testing glide wax. So it's just gliding, there's no grip testing. So they're going to test a lot of different combinations in that glide wax.
Yeah, so just definitely the first skate race of the Junior Cross Country Ski Championships here. And we're going to be right back with today's start lists.
Coast Outdoors is Canada's premier cross-country ski store. We're proud sponsors of this year's World U23 Cross Country Ski Championships at Whistler Olympic Park. We carry the best cross-country skis, boots, poles, clothing, and more. If you're serious about this sport, check out coastoutdoors.ca.
Okay, time to look at the start list. 61 starters for the junior women. They'll be doing 30-second interval starts. And there we go. Our first starters from Chile, Sandoval, one of first-time World Championship skier. Also in there, a number of Canadians.
Yeah, Steve, the number of Canadians, and it's interesting, there's 3 Canadians here from the Revelstoke Nordic Club right here in BC. You know, one Canadian, look for Allison Mackey. She's been showing some strong performances. Look for her. She could be cracking into the top 10 today.
Also in there, the Australian Zana Evans. She had a very strong skate race earlier this year in Canada. Some other top athletes, the American, Sammy Smith.
Yeah, she's definitely a strong skater. Look for her pushing the pace early on.
And then a couple of our top skiers.
And just to point out, Bib 61, Lisa Erickson, it is her birthday today, so she will be going for gold for sure.
20th birthday today for Lisa Erickson. She's a silver medalist and a bronze medalist from these championships, and also a silver medalist in the skate race last year in Norway at the Junior World Championships. So again, looking for a birthday present today for Lisa Erickson, but also another skier to mention, Mila Grosberg Haugen Andreasen, MGA, a gold and silver so far in these championships, Tim.
Yeah, look for her to be really strong. We saw her, you know, break away in that classic mass start, so she's going to be pushing that pace. You know, those later starters, there is an advantage for that late start, is they're going to be getting splits off everyone who's crossed the point in front of them, and so they know how hard they have to be pushing in order to get a podium spot.
So another thing to mention, you just touched on it there, 3 Canadian skiers, Tim, from the same ski club racing today.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. You know, all of them now, Revelstoke Nordic, coached by Zach Hill, formerly coached by Matt Smider, who is on the Canadian coaching staff here. So yeah, cool story there with some BC athletes.
Yeah, Marley Molinaro, Alexandra Luxmore, and Maeve McLeod, 3 skiers from Revelstoke Nordic, right here in this province, about a 7-hour drive away. So those are a few of the skiers that we're going to see kick off, the 3 Canadians, 5th, 8th, and 11th starters. So this is going to be an interesting race. We get to spend a lot of time with each athlete. So get ready, we're getting close. Welcome everyone to the 2023 FIS Nordic Junior and U23 World Ski Championships. We're at beautiful Whistler Olympic Park here in the Callahan Valley, just a 2-hour drive north of Vancouver. It's the Junior Cross Country Women's individual 10-kilometer free technique race today. And it looks like a pretty solid day, Tim.
Yeah, another great day. You know, stable weather we've seen throughout the week. They're calling for some snow later on. Things could be changing up, but things are looking stable, which makes life a lot easier for wax technicians and as well as athletes selecting their skis for each race.
Yeah, so there are some storms coming later, but I think we should see some stable weather throughout today. But tomorrow could be very interesting for under 23 men and women. But today, the junior men and junior women, and we're getting close to the start. And Tim, this is the individual start race. It's 10K, and they start at 30-second intervals. So what are some of the differences between an individual start race and a mass start race that we saw previously in these championships?
Well, in the mass start, we saw a lot of packs skiing together, and athletes are able to catch a ride, hang on to one another, play a little more tactics, cat and mouse throughout the race. Especially we saw that in the U23 men's race where, you know, a big pack of 11 came through and came down to sprint finish. In the individual race, it's every athlete racing against the clock, and so there's less tactics. It's just about going out full gas right from the start to finish and see who can hang on pushing that pace.
Yeah, and so this is the Olympic venue for the 2010 Vancouver Olympic Nordic events. A lot of history here, and you can see the Olympic rings in the background. The official time here, just 10:02, so we're about 3 minutes away from launching our first skier on our individual start 10K race for the junior women. So we can see some of the Italian athletes getting ready. So a total of 25 countries and 61 athletes, Tim, kicking off with Chile. But an interesting story, we've talked about 3 Canadians in the first 11 skiers, all from the same club.
Yeah, all from Revelstoke Nordic, right here in BC, which is awesome to see. You know, another strong Canadian, Allison Mackey, look for her pushing that pace early on. Yeah, she could be in that hot seat early on and cracking a top 10 today.
Yeah, also in there, Nina Schamberger from the US, from Leadville, Colorado. Then we get into some of our fastest skiers. Sammy Smith, number 49 from Idaho. Then we get into one of our favorites, number 60, MGA, Mila Grossberg-Haugen Andreasen, definitely one to look for, already a gold medal in the mass start. And then Tim, number 61.
Yeah, number 61, Lisa Eriksson. She's had a silver medal, a bronze medal, and most importantly, it is her birthday today.
Yeah, and she won a skate race at last year's, or sorry, not won, a silver at last year's World Junior Championships. So she is hungry for a gold medal. And here's the course. Tim, take us through it.
Yeah, so the 5K blue course, slight change from what we've seen in the 5K classic course. You know, that initial climb that they do, kind of when they come under the bridge, it's been extended. So it's a lot longer. They go a lot higher, and that's the highest point on this course, is off that first climb. And then they get a long descent, come wrap around, some twists and turns, and again they hit that second climb, which is identical to what we saw in the classic race. They'll be climbing, and that gets them kind of to the top of the course then before the descent all the way down to the final climb above the stadium.
Yeah, so 2 big climbs on this course, and then a very big descent, just a smaller climb just above the stadium, and then the descent into the stadium 2 times this 5-kilometer course. And I understand it's pretty much the same course that they used for the 10K for the women on day 1 of those Vancouver Olympics. And what an exciting battle that was. That was Sweden taking the win in 2010 for the women. Which country will take the win? Could it be Sweden with Lisa Eriksson? Could it be Norway with Mila Grossberg-Haugen Andreasen? Or could it be a surprise on the top step of the podium? There we see one of our Australian athletes getting ready. And it's 30-second interval start, and we've got 61 starters, so it's going to take just over 30 minutes to get all those athletes started. And a 10K, expecting times probably around 23, 24 minutes for our top skiers. Okay, we're getting close. So there's number 1. Look at that
She
smile.
is excited.
Now, we saw that smile at the opening ceremonies, Tim. She was carrying the flag for Chile, first ever World Ski Championships for the junior category. And there we go. We're underway with our first skier for this 10K interval start here. Free technique, beautiful technique by the Chilean skier.
Yeah, you can see she's starting off with one skate, what we call one skate here in Canada. In the US, they call it V2. So we got some different terminology out there in the world for different techniques, but she's pulling for every skate push out there.
And here is number 2, Nika Ljubic from Slovenia. She was 28th in the classic sprint, and she's not too far. She lives just outside the capital of Slovenia in Ljubljana, if I got that pronunciation right. So there's the Slovenian skier. And of course, next year's World Junior Championships will be in Slovenia. Number 3 from Slovakia, Veronika Bukosova. She was 51st in the 20K mass start race. She lives in the northern part of Slovakia, not too far from Zakopane, Poland, where the World Junior Ski Jumping and Nordic Combined events were last year. So she's out on course for Slovakia. Those are our first 3 starters. They're going at 30-second intervals. And there is number 4, Lily Murnane. Interesting story here. She skis for the Australian team. She has dual citizenship, but she started skiing at the Tahoe Cross Country Center near around Lake Tahoe, near Tahoe City. She now skis with Montana State University, but she started out Tahoe Cross Country with the Strider Gliders, as they call them, and she's the second skier from Tahoe Cross Country here. JC Schoonmaker, also from Tahoe City. We'll see him tomorrow in the U23 race.
And Steve Marley Molinaro from Revelstoke Nordic Ski Club. She's currently training with the Alberta World Cup Academy in Canmore, but also a resident of the Whistler area.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a lot of friends and family out there cheering her on today.
But the first of our 3 Revelstoke Club athletes. Incredible that you've got 3 athletes from the same club, and you say, is that a coincidence? But I think some good coaching there at Revelstoke.
Definitely some good coaching from Matt Smider and Zach Hill.
So here's Sophia Wilson. This is an athlete with dual citizenship, Canadian and Wales. She raised in Canmore, started in the Jackrabbit program. But with that dual citizenship with Wales, she is part of the Great Britain team. She spent a few months in Lillehammer as part of that Great Britain project, that fantastic project they run out of Lillehammer, Norway, and she trained there for a few months, and she is set for a great race here. Here is one of our Lithuanian skiers, number 7. That is Intite.
And see, you can see there, Steve, she just broke the wand to actually start her time. So they do have 30-second interval starts, but there is a little leeway. Their actual time does not start until that wand is broken.
Okay, coming up next, another of our Revelstoke Nordic athletes, Tim.
Yeah, Alexandra Luxmore, look for her. She's a strong skater. Residing in Revelstoke Nordic, again, coached by Matt Smider previously, and now currently Zach Hill, who's coaching in Revelstoke. I believe she's been at a previous World Juniors before, so she has some experience under her belt. She could have some good results today.
So the second of our Revelstoke Nordic athletes here on Team Canada, underway on this 10K interval start free technique race. Here is number 9, Logander of Austria. So Austria, smaller team here. We were talking to the coach, and they said it's a smaller team here, but a high-quality team.
Yeah, I believe they just have junior athletes competing here, no athletes in the U23, so look for the Austrians today racing.
And they'll be inspired by their medal yesterday in the Nordic Combined team event. And there is number 5, Barley Molinaro.
Yeah, so she's coming up to that first long climb, the climb that they've extended. It's going a little further than what we saw in the classic race.
So this is Hattie Barker, first ever World Junior Championships for the American team. She skis with University of New Hampshire, but she came up through the Mansfield Nordic Ski Club, which has generated a lot of great young skiers. And I think there's at least 2, if not 3, Mansfield Nordic skiers here racing at these championships. So that is Hattie Barker, first ever World Junior Championships.
And here's our third Canadian starting, our third Revelstoke Nordic athlete, Maeve McLeod. Yeah, this is her first World Juniors, so again, I think she's first start of this championships. I think she's looking to gain some great experience moving forward.
Maeve McLeod on course with that low technique.
Yeah, that free skate there, that reminds me of the Chandra Crawford free skate from the 2006 Olympics.
That was very reminiscent of Chandra Crawford going for gold in those 2006 Tour and Olympics. And here we have another Lithuanian skier, Savikaitė.
On course, and now we're
Number 12 on course. We have just this little descent, and then they start to climb out of the stadium here at Whistler Olympic Park.
And you could see there, Steve, she was two skating, and you could just see the momentum she had with her arms swinging them forward. And here we have Alexandra Luxmore, bib number 8, coming up to that first climb. You know, 30-second intervals, you could just see that next starter in front, so you're always playing, kind of hunting down that next skier, seeing if you can gain some time on some of those climbs.
So this is the Czechia skier, Vranova. And it's interesting to see the different techniques just on that start area, let alone the climbs. Okay, our first Polish skier on the day, Alexandra Kowadziej. She is on course now, 10 kilometers.
and getting ready at the starting gate. Also representing Poland, Kamila Iniak.
So Poland, a number of their skiers have been here for a while, just preparing for these games. And here's number 15, next skier, also from Poland, Ijinjak. He's out on course. And you know, the head coach, not here, but the head coach of the Polish team, the senior team, is Łukasz Bauer, bronze medalist in the 15K interval start at the 2010 Olympics. So just an interesting connection to those
That's
Olympics.
right, Steve. And it was interesting. He went yesterday to the Olympic Plaza in Whistler at the Olympic rings, and it was really neat that they had kind of on the railing everyone who medaled here. We saw that Łukasz Bauer winning that bronze, his name on the railing.
So that was Haley Brewster starting, number 16. She's with the University of Vermont. And U16 U.S. Nationals 2019, she won the 5K skate. So Haley Brewster out on course, and her coach at Vermont is Patrick Weaver, longtime U.S. coach and skier. And here's number 17, Tabitha Williams, another dual citizen athlete that raised in Canmore and now with Great Britain. And part of that Great Britain project in Lillehammer, trained a few months. She's made some huge gains over those 3 months.
And Steve, I believe we'll see some of these athletes coming through that first timing check at 2.8 kilometers. And here's our last Canadian starter, Allison Mackey, again, finishing 13th in that classic mass start. She is a strong skier. Look for her cracking into the top 10 today.
Yeah, she had a great result in the 20K mass start 3 days ago. They got a little bit of an extra rest day, Wednesday being an off day for the cross-country skiers. So they've had 2 days to recover from that 20K mass start. Okay, here is number 19, Léonie Besson of the French team, our first French skier on the day. This is her first time at the World Junior Championships. In fact, Léonie had hip surgery just a year ago, and she's been under massive, intensive rehabilitation. So great to see her here performing at the World Junior Championships. And here is Medja of Slovenia,
Number 21 now at the
heading out onto the course. And 2 laps of 5 kilometers, 2 very big climbs going up. Both go up to about the same altitude. So they start off about 2,800 feet, and the highest point is about 3,100 feet. And there is 17, Tabitha Williams.
Coming up the first climb.
Okay, and here's 21, Hadjic from Croatia. There's Allison Mackey, Edmonton Nordic. She actually, I read, she helped her high school cross-country running team finally beat their kind of arch rival in provincial cross-country in Alberta. But there's Pina Altonen underway. She's had some very strong early season results. See if she can have a great result here at Whistler Olympic Park today. 10K free technique.
And Steve, I'm just looking at our timing point out there. We're getting our first few skiers coming through that first time check at 2.8 kilometers, which is at the top of the course.
Okay, so here's Kazakhstan's Tomachiova. We were talking to one of the Kazakhstan coaches and slightly broken English. We were trying to communicate, but he was very happy to be at Whistler Olympic Park for these championships. Another Kazakhstan athlete, Gerashenko.
On course now.
So you can hear some of the sound here, some of the coaches cheering on their athletes.
And Stephen, just looking at the timing checks so far, I believe 5 skiers have gone through the 2.8 kilometer mark, and we have actually 8, bib number 8. 7 skiers have gone through bib number 8. That's Alexandra Luxmore from Canada, who is currently leading the race at 2.8 kilometers of this 10K race.
Okay, so we had Fujak of Poland head out on the course. Now we've got Nadia Steiger heading out for Switzerland.
So what we're going to see shortly here is those first few starters are kind of at the top of the course, 2.8K in, 3K in to this 5K loop, and they're going to be coming down, looping back through the stadium. And as they lap through, Steve, they're actually going to be able to possibly catch a ride behind some of these later starters, which is another advantage out there.
Yeah, that is that kind of factor in individual start races where if it's just the person coming around at the right time and they're setting the right pace, it allows it to be less of just an individual race, and now you've got someone to pace off a little bit. But just the mental aspects, Tim, in a race like this, where you're by yourself, you can kind of go into that kind of internal view of like just thinking about the pain, but you're trying to manage how you think about this.
Yeah, and there's bib 8 there, Alexandra Luxmore, just coming up over the top. She's going to now start descending down, get some rest, recovery, as just before she'll lap through the stadium. So she's about another 1.5 kilometers to go before we will see her coming through the stadium. And from the splits that I see, she's currently sitting second place overall.
And there's
from 11 racers who've gone through the time check.
There's Hattie Barker, and you can hear the cheers for the University of New Hampshire athlete. Just 18 years of age.
Currently our leader at 2.8 kilometers in. You know, you heard some yelling on the side of the trail. So coaches are going to be lined up along the trail, giving splits, timing checks to these athletes, letting them know where they are, if they need to push the pace, you know, increase that pace a little bit to try and move up 1 or 2 positions, and we're kind of giving it an overall feel of where that athlete's ranking so they can then judge their pacing out there.
So Rodando of Estonia just on course, and this is Zana Evans. And interesting about Zana Evans, her 2 parents are Olympians. Her dad is an Australian cross-country ski Olympian. Her mom is a speed skating Olympian. And Zana, she was the top junior at the 10K skate trials here in Canada, so a strong skater. And here is Samantha Krampe of Latvia.
Stephen, I'm just looking at the time check at 2.8K, and it's awesome to see our 3 Revelstoke skiers sitting in second, third, and fourth. You can tell that they must ski a lot together and train together a lot.
Yeah, they're skiing very similar pace.
Come on, push over.
So there's 27.
Go.
Isoni of Italia. Here's 32, our first Japanese skier on the day. Hateki Yama, 18-year-old.
From the United States of America,
So just to clarify, Steve, their starting position is based upon their FIS ranking out there on the world level. And so some of these athletes who have not competed internationally outside their own country might not have as high of a FIS ranking. And so there are some unknowns out there that could have a good result today.
So here's Nina Schamberger, Leadville, Colorado. I was just chatting with her a little bit yesterday, and I said, how does it feel to go from 10,000 feet elevation in Leadville to 3,000 feet here? And she says it feels pretty good. We'll see how she does out there today.
And there you can see bib number 4 and 5. So that means Marley, bib 5, has made up close to 30 seconds on bib 4. And slowly, it's reeled her in. So it's making up some time. Looks like she's coming through the stadium here to lap. Let's see if she can latch on to one of these starters and get a ride around the course. And there, Marley's just lapped through, currently sitting in first place. 3 starters have gone through the lap. They got one more lap of 5K to go. And Marley Molinaro sitting in first place so far for Canada.
Okay, our first Norwegian, Anniken Sand. So she is an 18-year-old. Last year, she was the national champion for 2004 year of birth in the skate race, so a very strong skater. She was 10th in the classic mass start race here, so definitely someone to watch for. One of our, starting in the middle half of this course.
And Canadian Alexandra Luxmore there coming through your screen. She is coming through the stadium now, about to lap through, approaching the halfway mark of this 10K individual free technique race. Now let's see where she ends up halfway through here.
So right now at the top of the course, 2,800 meters, our top time so far, Haley Brewster of the US, as number 36 gets underway. That's Skurat of Poland, and here is Yamamoto of Japan.
And Alexandra Luxmore is currently sitting in first place. So it's great to see her up there.
Followed by
Okay, so here's Christina Duringer of Germany, now on course. So as Tim was mentioning earlier, based on previous races, that's how they're ranked on FIS points. So generally, as you have faster times from previous races, better positions, better finishing positions, you're going to get a start time closer to the end. So we're getting into the kind of higher ranked athletes.
Yeah,
as
so
we
the
progress.
higher ranked athletes, the advantage there is, that last starter, Lisa Erickson, is going to get splits of every single athlete in the race, and she'll know exactly where she is at any given point based upon feedback she's getting from coaches.
Okay, here is our first Finnish skier, Kukanleto, out on course, and she actually jumped into the Ruka World Cup race, Ruka Finland World Cup race back in November. So she's got some experience. Yeah, and one thing I find about pacing in these, we've talked a little bit about pacing, that, you know, if you think of pacing for a marathon or a cycling time trial, it's generally, you know, typically relatively flat, whereas ski racing, you've got some really big climbs and you've got to balance how hard you go with the recovery that you're going to get on the descents. It's a little more of a calculus that you've got to do with cross-country skiing. Now, France Pignot heading out on course.
And you can see here, you know, you're starting off, you got adrenaline going, so those skiers coming right out of the starting gate are going to be moving a lot faster than the athletes that are lapping through. And so if those athletes that are lapping through can actually jump on in behind a starter and get a bit of a draft and get a little bit of a pull, there will be some advantage for those skiers lapping through.
So here's our second Norwegian, Vestad, 18 years of age. She was recently 27th at the Norwegian Championships. She was 3rd at the Norwegian trials in the skate, one of the skate races. So definitely skating is her strongest technique. And here is 16, Haley Brewster. She was, I believe she's still sitting our top time at the top of the course at 2,800 meters.
I'm just looking here at 2.8 kilometers into the course. She is sitting in first place of the 26 skiers that have gone through, so a great race for her, and she's just lapping through the stadium. We'll see where she is.
And here's Engelhardt of Austria.
And Haley Brewster is in first place after the halfway point, so she's remaining in the lead. A great race from her.
Here is Elin Naslund from Sweden. Sweden having a great first day in the sprint with 3 of 6 junior medals. That first day of junior racing. There we see number 1 and number 41. So this is where you start to get some skiers on their second lap and some skiers on their first lap. So that is Sandoval of Chile, and 41 is France Pignot. And this is Nadine Laurent. She had some great results in the sprint race.
Yeah, she finished 4th in the day 1 of competition there in the classic sprint. So we'll see how strong of a skate skier she is.
There's Vestad of Norway. Definitely someone to watch as this race progresses. Very strong skate skier from Norway. I believe it might even be her first race of these championships. So she's got some energy here. 46, Yamazaki of Japan.
And there, bib number 18, Allison Mackey, just lapped through, halfway done. She's sitting in 2nd place at the 5K mark, 9 seconds off the lead. You know, she's lost 1 second to Haley Brewster from the 2.8K mark to the 5K mark. So we can start to see if athletes are gaining time or losing time out there.
So here's Liv Coupa of France, another interesting Olympic connection. Her mom was a cross-country ski Olympian at the 94 Lillehammer Games.
And again,
okay, so now this is Elin Naslund, and there is number 16. We're watching Haley Brewster.
our current leader so far at the 5K mark, and so she's going out on her 2nd lap. You know, she's got 2 big climbs. Can she dig deep, push through the pain on those 2 climbs?
There is Gina Del Rio from Andorra. Population 80,000, but they produce a lot of great cross-country skiers, downhill skiers.
And bib number 49 there, Steve, Sammy Smith. Definitely look for her. I'm thinking she can easily get a top 10 today if everything clicks for her. She's also a high-level soccer player and a freestyle skier out there, so a multi-sport athlete. It's great to see these younger athletes being involved in so many sports, not just focusing on one.
We chatted with her the other day a little bit, and very happy again to be here. And there is Haley Brewster on her 2nd lap. She is our leader early on here.
And Steve, I'm just looking back at the 2.8 kilometer mark. Again, 32 skiers have gone through at 2.8K, and Haley Brewster is still our leader.
And here we've got Elsa Torvinen. She was 9th at the Finnish National Senior Championships in the skate race, ahead of Tosa Väinö. So another dangerous skier, but there is number 16, Haley Brewster.
Allison, let's go, Allison. That's it, Allison.
University of Vermont. She was a national champion at U16 in the US for the 5K skate.
And there's Elisa Gallo. Steve, I know we talked with the Italian coaches over supper, and they said look for her in the skate race. She's definitely one of their stronger skate skiers out there.
And she recently won the Junior National Championships in Italy in the 10K skate. So she is ready for this distance, this technique. Okay, just getting an update. Haley Brewster still in the lead as Anniken Sand, the Norwegian, sitting 4th, tied for 3rd at that 2,800 meters, which is the high point of the course on the first lap. As here's Kamakura of Japan start. So a strong start by Haley Brewster, but now the question is,
did she start too fast, or is she saving some for that second lap?
Yes, this is where the tension starts to build. You just don't know what's going through their mind, what's going through their bodies right now, but this is where Haley Brewster has to hurt if she wants a top placing as Iris de Martin Pinter starts her race, her 10K. So Iris de Martin Pinter, she was 5th in the sprint, 4th in the classic mass start, hungry for a medal here. So as we start to see some of our later starters come through that 2,800 meters checkpoint, Haley Brewster still holding on, but a number of fast skiers to get underway. And speaking of fast skiers, our gold medalists from the sprint earlier this week, Tosa Väinö, bronze in the 20K.
So she is showing that she can sprint and ski distance as well with being on the podium in both races.
But the difference was in the junior race, in the mass start race, she could sit in the pack, she could let someone else set the pace, but now she is on her own. Here's 36, Gurat of Poland, 55, Erika Levin. Interesting about her in the Swedish junior trials races, she was 2nd, just behind Lisa Eriksson. So another skier to watch for. We haven't seen her name a lot in these championships, but this might be her day as we see number 5, the Canadian and BC athlete, Marley Molinaro.
Yeah, and coming, it looks like she's going over the last little climb before the big descent. At the 7.8 kilometer mark, Marley is sitting in 3rd place overall.
Yeah, and here's Marina Kalin underway. She was 5th in the classic race, and her sister was 5th in the U23 classic race. Now another name to mention, Tim, Allison Mackey for the Canadians, sitting still in 2nd at the 2,800 meter point. So Haley Brewster of the US leading at 2,800 meters, Allison Mackey 2nd, still a number of fast skiers to go through. And here is Siri Vigor.
But and Steve, that's 39 athletes through, and Allison's still sitting 2nd place there. So
yeah,
that is a good race for Allison.
A very good start, but again, how hard did they go on that first lap? Do they have enough juice? And now you start to see, this is a great angle to see the 3 skiers coming together. 2 are on their 2nd lap, 1 skier starting their 1st. And here is 58, Tova Eriksson of Sweden. She had a number of 2nd place finishes at the Swedish trials, the Junior World Trials. She's had some medals in the past at Junior World Championships in the relay.
And Steve,
Nice
it looks like
technique.
we got a new leader at the 2.8 kilometer mark. Norwegian Vistad is in the lead by 16 seconds over Haley Brewster.
Okay, so the Norwegian starting to make a mark, and here is the 3rd Norwegian, Rusvin Jensen. She won a bronze medal at last year's World Junior Championships in the 15K skate. This is her technique. Could this be her day? We're down. She is our 4th last starter. And there is 42. That is our leader out on course, Vestad.
Yeah, and she's just finishing off that final big climb before she starts her descent all the way down to the stadium area.
And here is MGA, Mila Grosberg, Haugen Andreasen.
Yeah, definitely. She's still my favorite for today. Look at that start. Starting out fast. Can she hold that pace for 10 kilometers? If she can, I think she can easily win this race.
Yeah, we chatted with her yesterday. Big smile on her face. She's having fun here. And there's the birthday girl.
Yeah, Lisa Eriksson, you know, she's come second and third multiple times at these championships. She is hungry for gold. Wouldn't be something if she can win gold on her birthday.
Now, she won silver last year at the World Championships in the skate race. Again, this is her technique. And this is our last starter. All our athletes are either on course or will be coming into the finish. Again, now we've got, again, looking at 2,800 meters. Naslund, Elin Naslund is looking like she's moved into second at 2,800 meters. So Elin Naslund of Sweden, second place. That has moved Haley Brewster to third. But now you can see Elin Naslund
She's already made up 30 seconds on bib number 43, and that's just 2.8 kilometers into the race. So a really strong race by Naslund. She might be pacing it well. You know, she's 7 seconds off the lead, but there's still a lot of racing ahead.
And here is Brunfinn Jensen. So this is the start of the first big climb. Brunfinn Jensen, bronze last year in the 15K skate at Junior World Championships. Number of second place finishes at the Norwegian trials behind MGA, who will be starting behind her. And this is, I think, this is always interesting because they put the fastest athletes based on the past results at the end. And this long plateau, you can start to see the athletes in front of you.
Exactly, Steve. There's long sight lines on this long climb here, and those athletes can start to gauge, are they making up time on the climb or not? And so they got to be careful that if they are making up time, that they're not going too hard and saving some energy for the second lap.
And there we can see Allison Mackey, number 18, pushing to the top of the climb, Tim. And this is something we've talked about, that you want to push pretty much at 8 kilometers, 8,000 meters. That's kind of your finish line. You've got to push hard because a long descent after that.
Exactly. So if you're saving something after that point, you've almost saved too much. So you really want to push over the top of the hill. Use that last climb as your acceleration. First racer finishing, that's Marley Molinaro from Whistler, currently skiing for the Alberta World Cup Academy.
A solid race for Molinaro, one of 3 Revelstoke Nordic athletes. Lily Murnane, Montana State University, Tahoe Cross Country, just finishing up her race, gasping for oxygen. And I can see at 2,800 meters, Tim, we've got second place new Sammy Smith, 5 seconds behind Vestad of Norway. So Sammy Smith has moved into second.
That's a great place for her to be in. You know, in 5 seconds, she can totally make that up on the descents on the next climb. So she's sitting in a good spot.
And here is Torvinen. Torvinen, definitely a dangerous skier after her great results at the Finnish Senior Championships. And I think we just saw number 10, Hattie Barker, come in. So a solid race for Hattie Barker. Ljubic coming in for Slovenia.
Yeah, Stephen, Hattie Barker sitting first place so far, so there is a hot seat in that finish area, and every new leader will be sitting in that hot seat until someone else takes it from them.
Yeah, great race by Hattie Barker. Alexandra Luxmore has come into the finish. Another one of the Revelstoke athletes, but right now at 2,800 meters, Vestad of Norway, then 5 seconds back, Sammy Smith of USA, third Elin Naslund of Sweden, but still another about 10 skiers to come through that checkpoint. And there is our leader from 2,800 meters, Vestad of Norway.
Leading this race at the halfway mark.
But we're going to see more and more skiers now come through that 2,800 meter spot. DeMartin Pinter coming through in 4th spot. So only about 8 more skiers to come through at 2,800 meters as we watch Vestad, 42. First race at her first ever Junior World Championships. Vestad leader at the halfway point, leader at 2,800 meters.
And Steve, she's still looking really strong. Look at that tempo as she goes up the climb. She might be pacing it really well out there.
Yeah, she's coming up that climb. She seems really snappy, and that's important because she's gonna just as a little bit of a downhill and then that first big climb.
And here's Naslin coming through, lapping through, at the 2.8K mark. She was sitting third. Let's see if she's moved up at all.
That is Marina Kalin, her older sister, racing in the U23 category here. Nadja Kalin with the Swiss team. Great technique. Now, what is that technique, Tim?
So that is what in Canada we call one skate. In the US, she's just switched to offset, so more of the climbing technique as you're going up the hills.
And we just saw Marina Kalin moving into second. Second place for Marina Kalin at that 2,800 meter spot. Just as they're coming up the second big climb.
And again, you can hear all the yelling on the side of the trails. Those are coaches yelling splits, trying to tell the athletes where they're positioned in this individual race.
So Lavin from Sweden was sitting 6th at 2,800 meters. We're gonna have about 6 more skiers come through that 2,800 meter point. And that's the end of the second big climb. And there is Tova Eriksson. Tova Eriksson is sitting now in first place. Tova Eriksson has moved into first place at 2,800 meters. Again, this is the top of the second big climb. It's mostly downhill to finish off the 5K loop. So Eriksson of Sweden has moved into the lead at 2,800 meters. Still lots of racing to go. Now we've got a few more top skiers to come through. We're watching Lisa Eriksson of Sweden, Mila Andreasen of Norway, and Busvin Jensen of Norway. Lisa Eriksson, her birthday today, and there we have
Allison
Tabitha
Mackey.
Williams.
Yeah, Tabitha Williams, number 17, but Allison Mackey, number 18, finishing. There we go. And it looks like Tabitha Williams finishing in, oh, she was third, but Allison Mackey moves into third place there.
Okay, here's Tova Eriksson, number 58.
And Steve, we have a new leader at the 2.8 kilometer mark. Mila Andreasen has moved into first place. She's got a 6-second lead over bib 58 Tova Eriksson, who you see in your screen now.
And here is Lisa Eriksson of Sweden.
Our new leader, the birthday girl out there today, leading the race, 2.8 kilometers in. She's 4 seconds up on MGA. Can she maintain that pace, and can she stay in the lead?
And this, again, this is the 2.8 kilometer mark, but it is the top of the course, and then there's a long descent. So this is an important measuring point for these athletes. Lisa Eriksson, 20 years old today,
and
going
you can
for
see
gold.
bib number 27 there on her second lap. If bib 27 can just stick with Lisa Eriksson, she's going to have a great second lap.
That's Isoni of Italy, as we've got Leonie Besson from France coming in, and the Lithuanian athlete Saviketi coming in. But there is Lisa Eriksson, your leader at 2,800 meters. 4 seconds up on Andreasen, 10 seconds up on Tova Eriksson, no relation of Sweden. Vestad in fourth at 13 seconds. Kalin at 15 seconds. Oh my goodness. 20 years old.
Can she win gold on her birthday?
Oh my goodness. Well, still lots of racing to go. And here is 52 of Japan, Kamakura. She was 29th in the 20K Classic, but she's had some great results on the Far East Cup, racing at the Pyeongchang 2018 Olympic Trails just earlier this year. So Kamakura lapping through for another 5K lap.
Yeah, puts her in 8th place at the halfway point.
Enjoying the moment.
Okay, and we can see 3 skiers there. Sammy Smith has caught the 2 skiers in front of her, 49. Sammy Smith, Boise and Sun Valley, Idaho. 48, Gina Del Rio of Andorra. Sammy Smith.
Of 51 skiers through the halfway point, Sammy Smith is sitting in 2nd place. Let's see how she paced it. Can she push it on the 2nd lap?
And she was 7th at the 2,800 meter point on the 10-kilometer course. And this is where pacing is very interesting. Did she leave a little bit in the tank? This next climb is going to tell us a lot. These next 2 climbs, and she is in that position where if she has a good 2nd lap, she could be in medal contention. She's currently 8 seconds out of a medal at that 2,800 meter position. Either way, looking relaxed as she heads up that first big climb. Here is Erica Lavin. She was sitting. She was sitting in a top 10 spot at 2,800 meters.
And she moves into 6th place at the halfway mark, Steve.
So still sitting in the hot seat is Haley Brewster, our top finisher so far, but many skiers still to finish. Again, if you're just joining us, it is Eriksson, Lisa Eriksson of Sweden in the lead at 2.8 kilometers, Andreasen 2nd. 10 kilometers, interval start. There is Tova Eriksson, who is sitting 3rd at 2.8 kilometers. She's coming through to finish her first lap. 2 times 5 kilometers. The same course they use for the 10 kilometers at the Olympics for the women, individual start, free technique. That was won by Sweden. Charlotte Kalla won here, the first race of the Nordic events, the Olympics, won it for Sweden.
So Steve, just to put it into perspective, at the 2.8 kilometer mark, Tova Eriksson was 3 seconds ahead of Vistad, and coming in at the 5,000 meter mark, halfway through the course, she is sitting 3 seconds behind Vistad. So you can see Vistad had a strong descent there on that first lap.
That is important. You know, we're focusing a lot on the climbs, but the descent, if you've got a little faster ski, that can add up to a lot of time. And there is Vestad getting the cheers and the encouragement. Vestad looking good in this climb, and this is critical. She's got to push.
7.8 kilometers into the race, she is the leader. She's got a 40-second lead over 2nd place. Can she continue to push over this climb and ski the descent as well as she skied it on the first lap?
So this is 29 of Estonia, Rodendau.
Number 29 now, Ornella Rodendo from Estonia.
And if I recall, Estonia had a good race at the 2010 Olympics in the 10K skate for women. I believe Estonia might have won a medal there with Christina Spingen. And there is Erika Levin of Sweden. She was sitting 10th at 2,800 meters. So we're also going to get some time gap updates at the lap lane shortly.
Yeah, so I'm just looking there at the lap lane, 5K in. Andreasen is in the lead, 7 seconds over 2nd place. So we're just waiting to see
Number 29 now,
where Eriksson ends up. And Lisa Eriksson, who is leading at the 2.8K mark, is down into 7th place, 22 seconds.
Oh,
did she start too hard?
Oh my goodness, Lisa Eriksson has fallen off the pace on the descent. And Andreasen at 5 kilometers is in the lead by 7 seconds, and Sammy Smith is up to 6 as all of our top skiers are through their first lap. All of the skiers are through on their first lap. Andreasen in the lead. but the descent is proving critical.
Well, 22 seconds back off the descent. Did she have a fall out there, Steve? Maybe she fell. We did not see the whole picture. What happened? She started off so strong. We'll see here as she starts to lap through and go on to her second lap how she's looking.
That's a good point, Tim. She did have a fall in the sprint race, you may recall, but she actually got back on her skis and got back and ended up winning a medal. But very interesting. Andreasen is moving to the lead. Vestad second, Kaylin third. Tova Eriksson tied for third. Brusvin Jensen in fifth. Sammy Smith in sixth. Sammy Smith, 8 seconds out of third place position at the halfway point. So it's getting very tense now. Eriksson, our early leader, falling off the pace on the descent. Not sure what happened, but that is a significant development as we've got 33 Nina Schamberger coming into the finish. The Summit Ski Club athlete, a prospect for University of Utah. She's been signed by University of Utah for next season. Nina Schamberger coming in for the United States.
Nina Schamberger from the United States. Schamberger, who's the finish now?
Oh my goodness, she's feeling the agony.
Oh, sometimes we see these athletes, muscles are cramping and they just dig deep and push through the pain until they cross that finish line.
And here comes Sammy Smith getting the cheers. This is the second big climb. The second big climb here coming up to the top. You've got to push to this point over the top because it's a long descent. You're going to get time to rest. So it's almost like the finish line is coming up. But as
Sammy Smith moves into second place here at 7.8K. Can she continue to push? Can she continue to accelerate over the top of the hill into that descent?
So Vestad in first at the top of the second big climb at 7.8 kilometers. Sammy Smith in second, 21 seconds down on Vestad. There's Lisa Eriksson, our early leader. But when she came through at 5 kilometers, she was down 22 seconds.
Sitting in 7th place. This is her skiing on the plateau. Kind of that first big climb that's been extended from what we saw in the classic race.
Okay, so we're waiting for Eriksson, Brusvin Jensen, Tova Eriksson, Marina Kalin to come through at 7.8 kilometers. And there is Vestad.
Look at the power that she is putting into those poles. She's skiing so strong still.
She's driving to finish. A coach would have told her she's in the running for a medal. She's trying to leave it all out there. A solo battle within herself to push to the finish. Vestad, what a time here. This could be a push for a medal. She doesn't know. She started in front of the top skiers. Vestad in her first World Championships for juniors.
You can see there she's sitting in first place, totally exhausted. She paced that race really well, Steve. She started out really fast, took that middle even faster, and finished her fastest.
Okay, so I think we'll see how things shape up here, but we got lots of skiers to come through at 7.8 kilometers. There's Vestad, your leader right now.
The leader chair is now
we still have some 20 plus skiers to come in. That is Krampa of Latvia. And here is 51, Elisa Gallo, the junior skate champ from Italy.
Sitting 6th place at 7.8 kilometers. Looking strong as she's skiing up over the top into that descent.
And here is 56, Kalin. Kalin on the second big climb for Switzerland. Can she move ahead of Vestad on this climb? We're gonna have the checkpoint coming up for 7.8 kilometers. This is setting up for the greatest result ever for Marina Kalin. 2.9 seconds up on Vestad.
She moves into first place. She's got a chance at a medal here, Steve. Can she keep pushing that pace?
Oh my goodness, she's got a little bit more of this climb, then the long descent, but look at her technique, Tim. She's gasping for oxygen, but holding it together.
Again, to put it into perspective, Steve, at the 5-kilometer mark, she was sitting 3 seconds behind Vested, and now she's made up time and is sitting 2 seconds ahead of her.
This is a giant of a race for Nadia Kalin. Her sisters had some great races here. Kalin. Oh my goodness. There we've got Ila Naslund finishing up. Also Kukunleto of Finland.
And there we go at the hot seat. So our current leader, Vested, sitting in that hot seat. And she will remain there until, if anyone can bump her out, actually, Steve.
So Kalin had a bronze at Junior Championships. Oh, it's going to be so close for Kalin. It's so close for the top positions. So there's Kalin, 56 of Switzerland. There's Tove Eriksson. She is in that battle for a medal.
She's sitting 3rd place right now at 7.8 kilometers, Steve. 7 seconds. Oh, we got a new leader coming through at 7.8K. Bib 59. Jensen is our current leader, 7 seconds ahead of Kalin.
So we should see Brisbane Jensen come up the climb. There is 45 just finishing up, Nadine Laurent.
Katie Baker from the United States. Nancy Baker in the 4th, and Allison Mackey from Canada in the 5th.
So it's 7.8 kilometers. There is Andreasen. There is MGA.
She's our leader at 7.8K, 12 seconds up on 2nd place. She is looking really strong.
Andreasen going for a gold medal. She's got a gold in the classic mass start, a silver in the sprint. Her goal was simply to bring home a medal to Norway from these games. Could it be a 3rd medal? Could it be a 2nd gold? Here is Sammy Smith, 49, sprinting to the finish, looking for a top placing, lunging at the line and collapsing.
Number 48, it is
the Idaho skier.
Finishes and sitting in 2nd place currently at the finish.
So Vestad still your top time at the finish. Sammy Smith sitting 2nd right now at the finish, but out on the course at 7.8 kilometers. Andreasen in 1st. Brisbane Jensen of Norway 12 seconds back. Marina Kalin at 20 seconds back. Vestad at 23 seconds. Tove Eriksson at 28. It is 8 seconds from 3rd to 5th.
There's our current leader so far. She does not look tired at all.
My goodness, MGA, magnificent Mila.
And there you can see one of the coaches cheering her on. She has her teammate in sight, bib number 59, who is sitting in 2nd place. So again, that's very encouraging for her. She knows she's closing down that gap, which is going to help her finish strong.
Yeah, she's got that, the 2nd place skier just in front of her, and a bronze medalist from last year's World Championships just in front of her, Brisbane Jensen. Brisbane Jensen stronger in the skate, and so far she is sitting in 2nd place at 7.8 kilometers.
Steve, just in, Lisa Eriksson at 7.8K, down in 12th position, over a minute back. I think she just went out way too fast. She wanted the gold. She had to go at that pace to win the race, and she just couldn't maintain it.
It's almost like she decided, I'm going for gold or nothing, and she left it all out there. As Elisa Gallo, the junior Italian skate champion, coming in. This is Iris de Martin Pinter. She was 5th in the sprint, 4th in the classic. But it is going to be so close for 3rd. You know, Vestad is finished, and she is in the hot seat. Kalin was 3 seconds up on Vestad at 7.8 kilometers. There's this long descent, a climb above the stadium, and then the descent into the stadium.
We saw Vestad had good skis. She skied that descent on the first lap really well, made up time. So we'll see how Kalin can do on that descent.
You're right, you're right. The last descent, it looks like, I think Kalin and Vested were very close. And here we go, Kalin coming in. You can see the time counting down. as Kaylin is in the stadium, making the final turn. Kaylin getting led out by Tosavainen. Kaylin trying to go for a top placing. She's got to get ahead of Vestad. This could be a medal here for Kaylin. This would be her biggest result ever for the Swiss skier as she drives to the line.
Steve, I think she can do it. She will.
Kaylin, your new leader, 9 seconds up. That may be enough for a bronze, but still Tova Eriksson could unseat her with a strong finish. Kaylin, oh my goodness. I don't think anyone expected that, except maybe her. And here is, this is 55. This is Erica Leven coming in. She was sitting around the top 10 position, a very strong skater. We're gonna want to see when Tova Eriksson comes, if she can unseat Marina Kaylin. And also in there, Brusveen Jensen and Andreasen. So 58, 59, and 60.
Marina Kaylin from Switzerland, 27:11, the time to beat. Best time now with the second best time.
So just looking at 7.8 kilometers. Okay, and here we go. Brusveen Jensen is coming in. Brusveen Jensen looking for a medal. Number 59. And beside her, Tova Eriksson. But Brusveen Jensen, can she do it? Can she move ahead of Kaylin? And she does. Brusveen Jensen, our leader right now, but here is Andreasen.
Here comes MGA. Again, look at her. 18 seconds she's got to cross that line. I think she's going to do it. She's going to walk away with another gold medal from these championships, Steve.
This is for a gold medal. Still unofficial, but MGA, another World Junior Championship for the Norwegian.
What a race. She looked so strong throughout the entire 10 kilometers. She paced that so well.
Brusveen Jensen closed 6 seconds on Andreasen, but Andreasen the fastest time. Oh my goodness. 57 coming in, Siri Vigor of Switzerland. Right now, unofficially, it looks like Andreasen, Brusveen Jensen, and Kaylin, your top 3 spots. Kaylin was able to pick up time on the descent on Vestad. Oh my, not a huge surprise for Andreasen. Brusveen Jensen putting it together in the skate race, and Marina Kaylin, the Swiss skier, with the race of her life at the World Junior Championships. And now we get the Mila Andreasen smile and celebration with her teammate Brusveen Jensen. Oh my goodness, they're so happy. They skied together. They were 30 seconds apart, Tim. They pushed each other to gold and silver at the 2023 FIS Nordic Junior World Ski Championships. There's Eriksson.
Our last skier on the course. She did go for it right out of the start. Just did not have enough to keep that pace up. You can see here, minute back of what MGA did, but so it looks like Kaylin is going to walk away with a bronze medal from Switzerland.
Yeah, Eriksson looked like she went for it. Not sure if she had a fall on the descent, but she went for it. It was gold or nothing. Hats off, chapeau to Lisa Eriksson on her birthday to absolutely go for it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But Lisa Eriksson, 20 years old today, already a silver and bronze at these World Championships. She can celebrate tonight for her birthday and 2 medals at these championships. There is Andreasen as she gets to sit in the hot seat. Andreasen, there we go. What a smile. She had to pause for about 30 seconds after race, and then she's got that trademark smile and celebration. Look at that, thumbs up. Tim, 13 months ago, she could not have dreamed of anything like this. And now, 2 World Championships. And there's Bruce Jensen, a bronze last year, upgrading to a silver this year.
What a season for MGA. You know, been so dominant on the Norway race scene. Comes to the championships here and walks away with 1, 2 golds and a silver so far. She's got to be a favorite to be in that relay team on Saturday.
Yeah, so the mixed relay coming up on Saturday. There's Bruce Jensen, again, bronze last year in the skate. Mass start this year, silver in the individual start race. And there's Andreasen hugging your teammates. So she's just digesting and processing what happened. I mean, when in interval start race, you have really no idea other than what coaches are telling you. And she's just processing everything. But that's trademark smile for Andreasen, having fun. The grade 12 student from Oslo. Enjoying the moment, Tim. Celebrating the moment. We've talked about this. You know, it's easy to, at the junior championships, to start projecting forward, Tim. But it's like, you know, you have no idea what the future holds. It's a big, long road to bigger and better races, but the World Junior Championships celebrate the moment, a gold medal for MGA.
Yeah, she's got, like you said earlier, Steve, her goal was to just bring a medal back to Norway. And not only has she brought 1 back, she brought back 3 so far, 2 gold and a silver. She's got to be celebrating today.
Bruce Jensen so happy. She struggled a bit in the classic mass start, but she delivered here today in the skate race. What a day here. Whistler Olympic Park, site of the 2010 Nordic events for the Olympics. A beautiful setting for a Junior World Championship, and there we go. Our top 3. What an exciting finish. Mila Andreasen, MGA in the middle, Bruce Jensen on the left, and Marina Kalin with an incredible bronze medal. Oh my goodness. And there's the celebration. You know, the junior women have got that down really well. I think it's the photographers that have to get their timing right. They've got it just right. As you see the flames in the foreground and our top 3 in today's race.
Course open now, and we'll be back with some more racing.
Wow. The Callahan Valley surrounding the Whistler Olympic Park, the snow-capped mountains. So let's take a look at the standings. What a beautiful, beautiful day here. Andreasen, smile, lighting things up. Bruce Jensen, so happy to take home a bronze. And unreal, Marina Kalin, I gotta say, I think it's the biggest race of her life, in 3rd. Vestad, who was sitting there in the hot seat for so long, in 4th. Eriksson in 5th place. Tova Eriksson, some of the Canadians, Allison Mackey in 15th place. Hattie Barker, 14th. Haley Brewster up there in the top 10. Tabitha Williams, the Canmore athlete, now with the Great Britain team. Alexandra Luxmore, one of our Revelstoke Nordic athletes from right here in this province in Canada. Marley Molinaro, another Canadian from Revelstoke. Maeve McLeod, the 3rd Canadian from the Revelstoke Nordic Club, 44th. And we had 61 starters here today. Looks like Anna Kinsan not able to finish the race, but what a battle that was for our junior women on these Olympic trails here at Whistler Olympic Park. The precise trails used for the 10K free individual start race at those 2010 Olympic Games that kicked off the Games. Yeah. So it's just amazing with Andreasen. You know, if you go back about a year and 2 months ago, She was middle of the pack, having some good results, nothing special. And then in February last year, all of a sudden started winning for her age group at national championships. And then she is almost undefeated this season, except for the sprint where she got silver here. She has won every race that she has competed in this season as a junior. She was 5th in the Norwegian Senior Championships in the skate race, 6th in the Norwegian Senior Championships. That was, sorry, the skate sprint, and 6th in the skate individual start race. But again, just celebrating the moment. Celebrating the moment. I see the Norwegian press wanting to project forward on her career, but she is just happy to ski. The grade 12 student from Oslo. So an amazing, amazing day here. Marina Kalin, we got to process that ourselves. That is such an amazing result for the Swiss skier. Brusveen Jensen in second. The interval start races, a lot of excitement. There is Andreasen heading out. Andreasen, she had a 12-second lead at the top of the course, 6 seconds at the finish. Andreasen, your junior world champion. We'll see you shortly for the junior men. Okay, so we're going to take you down to Tom to talk to our world champion.
Hey, thanks, guys. I'm here with Mila. Mila, how does it feel to be a world champion, first of all?
Oh, it feels so great, and it was a tough race, so I have to fight the whole race. So, yeah, it was good. It was so good.
And how was the race? You mentioned you're getting positive splits the whole time. Take me through that.
Oh, me and Tuva was so close the whole race. And yeah, I get positive splits the whole time, so I have to fight the whole time. Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, a great interview by Tom there with our world junior champion.
Yeah, and Steve, exactly what she said is individual race. You got to be fighting for every inch of ground out there. You're fighting the whole time. At no point can you let up. And that's the difference we see today in these individual races versus the mass start.
Okay, we're going to go down to Tom to interview another one of our podium finishers.
I'm here with Marina. Marina, how was your race today?
Well, it started out hard, I think, because my legs were a little tired from the 20K. But then when I first heard that I was pretty good, it was really motivating, and I could push hard, which is always nice.
When did you find out that you were in the running for a podium? Did you hear it pretty early on?
Yeah, I heard pretty early, I think about 2 kilometers in. I heard that I was first, but I knew that some good skiers were gonna come behind me. But I think after the first loop, my coach said that I was on 3rd position and that I could go for gold. So, yeah.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So that was Marina Kalin.
Yeah, what a race by Kalin, walking away with a bronze medal from the championships, a 5th place earlier in these championships. She skied so well, and again, she said the encouragement from her coaches telling her where she was so she could push all the way through.
Yeah, great comments, Tim. And we're going to go down to Tom to talk to our silver medalist.
Hey, thanks, guys. I'm here with silver medalist Tuva. Tuva, how was the race today, first of all?
The race was, first of all, very tough. It's a very tough course, so I had a tough time, but it was fun, and the course was very nice, and yeah, so it was very good.
How were the splits between you and your fellow teammate? Do you think you were in it and you could catch up to her, or were you just hoping to secure that second?
I hope so, but she's tough, so it was, no, I couldn't, but maybe next time.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Steve, what a smile on her face. That just says it all there. Silver medal, she's happy with that. It's awesome to see how her sunglasses matched her skis so perfectly.
Yeah, great race by Marina Kalin in third, and then two Norwegians, Andreasen and Brusvin Jensen, first and second. And looking back to the 10K at the Olympics, it was Norway, the great Mary Bjorgen, in third. So the two Norwegian juniors, in a way, in the same realm as Mary Bjorgen, but ahead in first and second here at the World Junior Championships. What a morning it has been, Tim. And we've had some great racing. We're going to have more great racing with the junior men coming up shortly.